In this video, I'm going to be explaining about static variable. So what is a static variable? Let's say you have a function that does not return anything, and the name of the function is just simply display, and inside this function you have a declaration of a variable called num, okay, with the initial value of 0, okay, and here you do this num equals to num plus 1, and then you output. So what is num? Okay, now in here when you call the function, as you can see, okay, for example, you display the value before you increase it. Okay, so what happened here is that, okay, now you call the function display. Okay, you call the function display. So when you run the program, so what happened is that it's going to call the function. And when it is inside this function, it's going to declare num, which is 0, and you output it, you get 0. Okay, and then you increase num to become 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1, assigned to num you have 1. So num is now 1. Okay, now what happens if you call this function many times? Okay, in this case I call the function 4 times. So it will keep on, when you call the function, okay, when you call the function, let me just adjust it. Okay, now when you call the function, it will be in this function and declare num, which is 0, output 0, you get 0 here, increase it by 1, you get 1 here, which is here. When the function finish executing, it will destroy all these variable. Okay, it will destroy all this variable and return to where it is being called, and you have another call to this function. When you are inside this function again, it's going to declare another num. Now this one is different than its previous declaration. Okay, even though the declaration looks the same, but it is now declaring another variable with the name num and initialize it to 0. So when you display num, this is where it's going to display 0. Okay, and increase it by 1, you get 1. And exit, it will destroy this, go back to where it is being called, and another call to this display, and do this, declare 0, num with 0, and this one num is now 0, and the process increase it by 1 and display 1 here. So it's the same for the rest of this. Okay, so this is what we call, this is a local variable, and it only exists from the point of the declaration until the end of that function execution. Okay, so what is static? If you slightly change this declaration to static, so what happened, this output will be different. Okay, here it will be 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, let's run this code. Okay, so what you will see here is that it's going to output 0. Is slightly different than the previous one. So this is what we call static variable, with the slight modification of adding a keyword static here. Okay, so what happened here is that when you call the function, it will, when you are inside the function, when it first saw this declaration, it's going to declare an integer num and declare and initialize it to 0, and then you output 0. Okay, this is what you have here, and increase by 1, this is 1, this is what you have here, and exit. when it exits, because of the static variable, it will not remove this. It will be in the memory. And when you are when you are from where it is called, when you are here, it will have another call to this function. When you are again inside this function, and because of the declaration of the previous one, it will not do this anymore. Okay, and it will also not do this initialization. So it will use the value, whatever value that has been in the memory. Now the previous value is 1. Okay, the previous value is 1. Okay, and when you, the previous value is 1 and you increase by 1, you got 2 here. So you have 2 here, and you exit, it will not destroy this static num. It will go here, go to another call to that function, go to this function again. It will not do this because it has been done, okay, before this. Okay, and do this. So this is going to display num, which is the latest, the last value. Okay, the current value that is available in num, which is 2. Okay, the current value that is available in num is 2. Okay, so and increase by 1, you got 3. And then finish, go here, call the last one, and go to the last call. It will not do this because it has been done before this, and display 3 because 3 is the last, the current value, and increase it by 1, so you have 4. Okay, and that is how static variable work. Okay.